when you're driving home from your parents' house, you turn it up until you can't hear yourself. But you called that night,
not specifically. I imagine
rambling, saying things out loud you wouldn't say to anyone else. Now you don't talk to me anymore.
Fine. I mean, I would ask Mom, but I
don't talk to God anymore. But I've been praying for your sister. I tell you to knock it off. If I weren't so fucking lost, it's too hard to resist when I know you like the back of my hand.
Hello, everybody.
Read your future with a glance. I hear what you're saying in your silence.
April and anybody else who signed up
like
for
the back of your hand.
Who registered, let me know if you got the notification that I've gone live.
You hear what I'm saying in my silence.
I'm just curious if that is working.
Not quite old friends.
I've got Orion and Apollo after this, I guess.
She said the meds ain't doing
their job. You didn't have sound at first, so you left and came back. Huh.
And that she's
interesting. Hi, Kenzie.
Miserable.
Thank you.
Francis Whitney.
My helplessness
and then eventually Millicon concert.
Black.
Yeah, I'm pre-gaming.
Borderline physical. Smiling this photo on my
so Francis will be here shortly. She was at a... Oh, Francis is here. Hi, Francis. I was just about to say that you'd be here shortly, and then actually your name popped up.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I fucked that up.
Let me get the multi-guest thing going. Okay, multi-guest, allow requests, blah, blah, blah. Francis, is it weird to join a live where you're singing on the live?
Said I love you in every way,
okay.
But she doesn't believe me. I would fly.
All right, let me make sure I can see this. Turn this
when
down.
her mind runs to that dark place.
Wait, is that Daisy?
This is Pearl.
Oh, okay.
She really doesn't like my guitar, so she's definitely gonna scurry soon. Look at sweet.
All right, hang on a second. Let me.
Wait, I feel so weird being a guest in the live.
I know, right? Well, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it.
Oh gosh, no! Don't flip it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm nervous.
I want to flip it eventually, but this keeps it. So I have the message telling people that they can join. You know. Let me get the clip of you off the screen where I'm saying that you'll be here soon, since you're here. Okay. Thank you for coming and doing this, because I think this is a cool idea.
I feel honored that there are people even interested in being here.
I mean, there's 17 people here right now, and yeah, it's so funny. There were so many people who were like, "Oh my God, I have questions! Oh my God, I can't wait! Yay!" And they were all excited. That's why I texted you, and I was like, "In case this goes longer than an hour, you know, hang on, I can't think and okay." Get rid of that and get rid of that. There we go. Okay. Girl, we are so interested. So for people who are in chat, I just want to encourage anybody, if you want to jump on as a guest as well, there are 7 spots, and I will try to keep an eye on the... Oh, I should invite Isaac. Hang on a second, because Isaac's here.
Wait, to go into the... No, to be on the live?
Yeah.
Sure.
So people can ask questions, not just in the chat, right?
Oh no, I don't get it. You do. I trust you, Brendan. In Brendan, we trust. In Brendan.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling them that if anybody wants to do that. Oh, here's Nina. Okay, they can just send a request, and I can if I see it, can accept the request, so people can pop on and ask questions and whatever. So, anyway.
I don't know what else to do. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
cool.
That is cool.
Hi.
Look at this girl. She wants a squirrel.
Francis, remember you had a live where you were saying a while back where you were saying like that you sometimes wish that you could like call on people and like you feel weird because you're just talking to yourself. Well, here, Francis Whitney.
Here, you can answer my question.
Francis Whitney Nation is here to make your dreams come true.
Because I want to know what book I need to buy.
Give me an easy. Give me a softball. Well, actually, ask me whatever you want. I'll do my best.
Nina, go ahead. Nina's got a question.
Okay. I do. I want to know what book I need to buy. Because that is something that I do like.
Oh, from the Still Have July, the Still Have July book talk thing?
Oh, I thought you said what book you should buy. Because I'll answer both. The book that inspired Still Have July is called Bonjour Tristesse. It's like, I read the English translation, but who's it by? Françoise Sagan. And it's just literally this like sweet, silly little tiny novel about like this French girl in the 50s who spends her summer in the south of France and like falls in love with a sailor. And I was just reading it at the time that like my producer sent me that guitar idea, and I felt so far from any feelings of like positivity around love or like relationships. So I was like, I guess I'll just write from her perspective, which was new for me.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I've never done that before. Very cool though.
It's like it's like your folklore or something. Like.
But my favorite book of all time is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, and it's very much about like queer-coded friendship and like.
Did you say My Brilliant Friend?
So good. It's actually a series, but I've never read the other one. But oh my god, it makes me weep. It's so like sad, but in a really like subtle way.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Nina?
I am from Claremore, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, you just commented that on one of my TikToks.
I did because I have. Okay, so there's always been this neighborhood in Claremore. I've lived here for like 20 plus years, and there's always been this neighborhood that I love driving through. It's pretty older, but probably like 2000 built homes. 2000 is in the year built homes, and one of the streets is Easy Street.
Wow, nice.
I love it. I love it.
Wait, that's so cute. I actually wanted to like make TikToks in front of various easy streets, but I couldn't find any. I also did. I honestly.
Well, there's one here. There's one here. Come here.
I'm on my way to Claire. Claremore.
Awesome.
Okay.
So since you're talking about being on the way to Claremore, I have to ask the question that I know that a bunch of people have because people keep asking it to me in all of my videos, which is like, when is Francis going to be in X city? Like whatever city the person is in, they're always like, is she going to do a show here? So is there anything like, I know that your tour, like in terms of actual touring would be later, but is there anything on the horizon in terms of shows that you can hint at?
I think I'll be doing some shows in New York, LASF in the fall around EP drop, but we'll see the exact dates there. And then my like goal would be to like open for someone in the next 6 months, which could take me around the country. Like that's like my dream, but there's nothing like super exciting to reveal, unfortunately. There's nothing even super exciting to hide.
So what if I'm really close to Tulsa, and there's a lot of music scene stuff down there. Have you ever thought about calling one of those places, or how would I get you here?
Well, now I have agents, so I kind of defer to them, because they. Okay. But I'm like very eager to get on the road.
Yeah.
I've been to Tulsa. I really like Tulsa, actually. But I think we're trying to like get the EP out and then just start hammering live shows. So I would hope in the next like 12 months I should be popping up in some cities, but maybe Isaac's like kicking and screaming right now. I don't really know. Isaac's
Isaac should pop on the live so that he can tell you to shut up if you're saying stuff you're not supposed to say. No, he shouldn't do that actually, Isaac. Don't do that. Also, I just need to set Kenzie's comment to music because Kenzie said NYC in October, November, or LA, December, January, sign me up. And I just want to say NYC, October, sign me up. Okay, sorry.
Period. Hey, go Drew.
Okay, I have a question about the EP that like popped up for me when I was listening to something earlier from Live a couple weeks ago. This is very specific, and you can answer or not. But Theo's Party, is Theo's Party going to be on the EP?
Brendan. I hope so. You want me to play a little of it?
I'm not sure I understand.
Whoa, she's listening. She's Siri.
Theo's Party is a song that that Frances has played on Live once before, I think, and had referenced something about it maybe being on the EP. So that's for people who don't know what I'm talking about. That's just the name. It's the title of a song.
It was not. It had been removed from the track list. I don't really know why. By me, obviously. But in recent months, I've been like, oh, that song's like makes me cry, and I love it, and I want to rework it. So we need to finish production on it, but I think that is going to be on the EP.
Yes.
Because the track list is longer than it should be.
Yeah.
What was the name of it?
Theo's Party. Let me see if I can just play a snippet.
While Frances is finding that. Oh wait, never mind. You found it. I'll shut up.
Okay. I'll play like 40 seconds.
The catalog was red hot, and we slept in the car on a stranger's street, but you were home to me.
I don't know if I picked the right part of this to play.
For you and only you.
It's cool. It's sad.
I'll fade away gently with grace. I won't kick and scream. I'll just fade away. I'll just fade away.
This is honestly like an interesting one to note production on, because this is one where like we've gone through so many iterations. The first one was very like golden hour, Noah Khan, like drums, like sort of upbeat. But I felt like it's such a sad song, and it sometimes the production like can take away from the emotion of a song. It's done not wrong. Like, so anyway, we're reworking it, we're figuring it out, but I do think that one's gonna be good.
That's really pretty. I hadn't heard that part of it before, because the part that you played on another live was like either a different version or just a more upbeat part or whatever. But that's so pretty.
Right.
Again, but not watching me turn around. Don't need to touch you, but I love you that I can't stop. And I don't need.
It's totally not boring. This is great.
It is.
I miss you that I can't stop. Before we shared a bed.
Okay, so like I'm still figuring out what I feel like that song should sound like, but I think she's gonna make it.
I think that sound is like so good. It's just, I don't know, that's amazing. You talked on another live about sort of thematically like that song and Past Life being kind of like related in a way, and so that's one of the reasons why I wondered if it'd be on the EP, because Past Life, I think you said, is going to be on the EP.
Yeah, Past Life is gonna make the EP somehow, which I wasn't supposed to do because I wrote it really recently. But
It's so good.
they're very much siblings. Those two songs, just I mean, in terms of like going from platonic to romantic with someone. But Past Life is sort of like the evolved version of it, in that it's me making an active decision not to breach that territory.
That actually.
There's some. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
no, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nina.
I was just going to say there's so many people in the chat. I was reading it while we were listening to the song, and there's so many people that have questions that they want to ask, but they say that they're nervous because they feel starstruck.
Oh my God, shut up, you guys. I'm literally such a dork. I'm nervous. I'm nervous you guys are going to ask me like questions and I'm not going to have anything to say. Okay, should I answer some of the chat?
Sure, you can do that. I do appreciate Natty's comment that Francis Whitney Nation is in Colorado, so you have to come here. I agree.
Period.
Period.
I
Ain't so
love
true.
Colorado. It's so true.
Well, good thing that I love Colorado.
Yeah, Nina, come to Colorado.
I mean, I totally will. That's where I had my
Isaac,
10-year
are you taking
anniversary.
notes?
Hey, you know what you should do? Wait, we should all come to Colorado in September. Francis, you should come, and everybody else should come for the Brandy Carlisle concert at Red Rocks, and we can have a Francis Whitney Nation meetup, and then I'll like talk to people in the Bramley, and we'll figure something. We'll.
No, for real, we should. September what? Do you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, it's September. I think it's 7th and 8th. I'm going to both shows. I'm going solo to the Friday show, and then with my family to the Saturday show. But I know
I've always wanted to go to see Brandy, and I've never gotten to.
well, and Red Rocks. If you've never been to Red Rocks, it's a bucket list venue. I'll have to post a video about this because seriously, we should do it. But also, Francis, and I can talk to you about this offline. But like, there could actually be, I think maybe like some kind of opportunity. Like the Bramley group is organizing shit around that in terms of like
Sorry.
in terms of like events and like last year when she came to Red Rocks, there were the Carlisle family band did a show, and like I don't know, there could be opportunities for gigs and shit, and I know some people in the Colorado Bramley. I'm not that well connected, but I know some people. So I don't know. We can talk about that, but or yeah. Isaac, I'm not coming for your job. I'm not coming for your job. I promise.
Isaac and Brandon met at the LA show too, and Isaac's a character, but he's a hard worker.
Isaac and I were like mouthing the words to a bunch of your unreleased songs at each other, like across the stage, because like on Something I Wanted, or Still Have July, which at that time was unreleased. Like, most of the people in the room didn't know those songs, but Isaac and I knew every word, and we're like singing them at each other. We were having a moment, me and Isaac.
You guys were really like across from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say when you were talking about the sister songs, it made me think of a question that I want to ask you, which is like, so I know you're a Swiftie, and like obviously one of the things in like Swiftie world and Gaylor world in the recent weeks and months has been like all the mashups and like trying to figure out like what is the significance of mashing up this song with that song, and it made me think like for you, if you were to like think on your own discography, whether it's like your older songs or like unreleased songs or the 3 songs that are on Spotify, whatever, like are there any sort of mashups, like potential mashups, or just like songs that are like sort of connected in your mind in some way that are like interesting to like think about? I have my own headcanons about this, but I'm curious, other than the one you already said, like what sort of like connections between your songs like strike you?
I'm looking at my list.
Yes, Colorado. This is my Colorado pride flag. That's always my backdrop, Laura. Oh, and also, I'm sorry, I forgot. You were going to go answer questions in chat, and then I just jumped in and asked a question again. But
Somebody asked what, I don't know who it was, but somebody asked what made you I'm not, sorry, my voice is doing whatever, but what was your inspiration to get into music?
Well, frankly, it's literally probably Avril Lavigne and Hilary Duff. Just because at that age I was 6, and I was just obsessed with them, and I had gotten a guitar for Christmas, and I still have my first songwriting journal, but I would write songs incessantly, and they're horrible. But I don't know. I think my mom played a big role in it too. She's such a big fan of music, and she introduced me to so many great artists, as many of our parents did. Elton John, Jackson Brown, Eagles, Neil Young, Joni, Carole King, Carly Simon, just like a long list. And for some reason, I've always feared songwriting as like a craft more than anything. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. So it's something I always sort of engaged in and tried to keep that over the years. And mostly as like a therapy tool. I would long, long time. But when I was going through something sad or whatever, I would write a lot. But it's always kind of been my dream to be. My first ever email was for any rock star at yahoo.com. Yeah, in the way that a 6-year-old wants to be a rock star, but then it sort of never went away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn it off. I'm so sorry.
I'm not sure if that's.
It might be my mic. Is it my mic?
I think
No, I don't think it is because you're louder now. I'm so sorry.
Your mic was sometimes sounding a little bit underwater. It feels like it.
Oh, maybe I broke my phone. Like, does it sound okay now?
It sounds fine now. I think maybe the way it was sitting on the table or something.
That's probably that. I'll just hold it.
I'm sorry, guys, but that kind of leads to a question that I had is, have you ever thought about writing with your mom? Like writing a song with your mom?
I brought her on stage at a New York gig to sing "Harmony on Our House" by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young with me once. It's funny too. Sometimes I'll send her demos that have like empty verses because I'll have written like the first verse and the chorus, and then the producer will put an empty verse, and she'll text me and be like, "I've been like playing it in the car, and I wrote a few verses. Like I won't send them to you, but you know."
I think that is so awesome. That would be
I
so
have the
cool.
most supportive mom. She's also very artistic and creative, and probably could write some great lyrics. So I think maybe that's a good idea.
Awesome.
That's so interesting. Okay, I don't know, Francis. I don't know how much. So I have like a follow up question about that, or a follow up thought about that with your mom in terms of like things that you both do, but it has to do with like an earlier stage of your. I don't know how much I don't know what I'm like. I don't know how much you want to talk about. You know, athletic stuff. It just.
Oh, volleyball.
Yeah, like Okay, I've never heard you really talk about it too much, so I didn't know how much you were trying to like keep your world separate, because your mom played volleyball too, right?
Yeah, she played volleyball for a little bit in college and then quit, but she was really good.
It's so interesting that you both have that, like,
same passion.
Yeah, you both are like volleyball stars, or really good volleyball players, and like musical. Like I wouldn't. Those are two such specific things, like.
I mean, I think that probably isn't coincidence. It probably speaks to my admiration for her and like choice to follow passions and pursuits that were important to her. Music, like I genuinely feel like is in me. Sports, like I was gonna do sports. I'm very competitive and I happen to be kind of tall and whatever. So that might be more of a direct, I'm trying to be like my mom. That's so cool that she played volleyball sort of thing. But I know it's nice to share so many similarities with her. I never really thought about it but I'm very lucky in that sense.
So just to simultaneously like puncture Francis's humility and also out myself as an internet stalker. Francis was the Ivy League Player of the Year in volleyball. She was like a really good volleyball player and played professionally. So
I love volleyball. Where at? Where'd you say? So cool.
Yeah, it was a huge part of my life. I joke sometimes like I would have been doing music much earlier had I been uncoordinated, but like. But I loved it. I really love sports, and I think like a lot of the way I approach life is like thanks to having been on teams for so long, and and like competing at like a college level and stuff. Anyway, it's kind of like
I was uncoordinated and didn't
like
play
rocker
volleyball.
of me. It's very like like I was like really locked in for a while there, but it was like a very important part of my life for many years.
Was it something like you talked before about how sort of like claiming the identity of an artist, or like sort of like wrapping your head around the idea of like calling yourself an artist was something that like took you some time to like do. And I had that video the other day that I posted where you were talking about this in reference to like meeting your managers and all that stuff. And I'm curious, like, whether was there like a kind of a transition of like the label of like capital A athlete versus capital A artist that sort of like was was like a challenge or like a, I don't know. I'm just curious if that was like a thing that you had to navigate.
Interesting question. Once I had like finished my year overseas playing, I was very ready to retire capital A athlete. I had like really dealt with intense performance anxiety. I was like fairly miserable that whole year. So I was like ready to hang up the cleats, so they say, and relegate myself to rec league volleyball once a week. The artist thing, like I do remember after my very first trip to Canada, for those who don't like know, I met some producers about a year and a half ago, and I had been writing songs and putting out some songs and videos and stuff for years, but not very seriously, and like was kind of afraid to really pursue it. Flew up, made some songs with them, and in the gate home in the airport, I was like sobbing because I felt like I had allies and teammates. It's interesting like how important that was for me given my background as an athlete, and being so used to like trying to do hard things with others at your side. Anyway, I think like very much right after that trip, I shifted to that identity, at least privately. And then we like worked really hard for a year, making a lot of songs. I was writing so much. And so I was like sort of working in silence, but then by the time we started rolling out the music, I felt like that was me. And I wasn't like ashamed to, because sometimes it's a little embarrassing to try, and it's embarrassing to think that some people might be looking at you saying like, "Oh my God, she thinks she's so good" or whatever.
Except
those
you are so good or whatever. That's the thing.
Oh my God, there's so many other faces now.
Yeah, a bunch of people. I just looked over and saw that a bunch of people had asked to join. So
This is
sorry it took
kinda
me a minute,
weird.
guys.
But my friend played softball at Yale, I think around the same time that you were at volleyball. You were playing volleyball, which is really kind of funny.
That's so random.
But I played college softball, so I was like, I kind of understand like going from like a capital A athlete to something else. So I think it's really interesting that you like took that time privately to then move on. I think that's really cool.
It's a weird transition.
It definitely
Like
is.
knowing how everyone who's played college sports or even high school sports, like it's every day, it's hours. So it's definitely like strange for that to be not in your life anymore. But I'm lucky I have music because I'm like even more obsessed with this. So I've just went one obsession with the next.
I'm just gonna.
What's your friend's name, Kenzie?
She goes by Nick. Trying to think of her last name. Hold on, let me look. I played club with her. She was a pitcher.
Okay.
Nicole Conway.
Nicole Conway. I'm looking up her roster picture.
I just sent an invite to turn on camera. I'm not trying to pressure anyone. I'm just trying to make sure that I have the settings correct. So don't worry about that.
Oh, she looks so familiar. I feel like I definitely was like acquainted with her at least.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Suddenly we're like.
I'm not so big now. Oh, there's Kenzie.
Hang on. I can.
Wait, MHB, why did you make me? Not me calling you MHB. Why did you make me the big one?
Hang on. I'll make you the small one again because.
No, I can be the. I don't care. But
No, it was just.
it's tripping me out.
I just wanted to see what would happen, and then suddenly it was like giant.
To have a certain number of followers to be able to do.
Yeah, I think you need 1,000 to.
Oh, okay. I don't have that many.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think it's like technically like a live if you are a guest with your camera on.
Right.
Yeah.
Francis, can I ask a question that like references what you were doing before you came here?
Oh, like my job?
No, well, like you were meeting with somebody today about things
Oh.
like
Well, who?
like writing stuff.
Oh, I did a session,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the producer.
I was just curious. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound so secretive. I just don't want to like
Okay.
reveal things that you said in
Oh
chat
no, I
without.
appreciate it. So respectful, so nice. No worries.
Um,
He knows everything, like everything. He knows
I know he
everything
knows
about
more
it.
than I know.
The nation club chair. For,
No, what I was just gonna ask was like, because you had said that you were like meeting up with somebody to do songwriting. I don't know what you had a session or whatever your term is, right? So my question is, A, how did that go? And B, like, can you just like talk about that process? Because like my knowledge of like sitting down with somebody to write songs is basically limited to that scene in Miss Americana with Jack and Taylor, and I'm just so curious. I want to be like a fly on the wall. Like, what does that even look like?
That's a great question. It really depends what kind of collaborator you're with. Like, I've definitely done sessions with like pure writers where they're like only contributing lyrical ideas. But in this case, like, I'll call a session with working with a producer who might still be listed as a co-writer, but often they might not touch the lyrics. They're like recording things or adding bass line or adding drums, a bunch of shit I cannot do. Today I was like meeting with someone new. I'm trying to find some people to work with more consistently in LA because obviously my main collaborators live in Toronto. And we just like started jamming on the guitars, and I had a bunch of lyrics like laying in my notes app that I was trying to work into a song. So he like, as he started to build out drums and like the track, I was like on my phone writing. If it's helpful reference, like, you know how Taylor talks about how she'll like go into a corner and write the lyrics, it's kind of like that. And then I recorded a vocal, so I have like a demo. But it can vary. Like, there are times when I'm writing like more directly with someone. There are times when I've written an entire song and I only have a voice note of it and I bring it in and then we build out production around it. I like tend to like to write my lyrics. I think my best lyrics I write alone, and then I like editing songs with people, if that makes sense. Like, I like when someone can come in and be like, let's punch this up, or like, what if you did this? But I find I need like time and quiet and space to like really think of what it is I'm trying to say. But it's cool. It's a weird thing. Like, doing sessions is a very weird concept because you essentially often are meeting someone for the first time, and then within 30 minutes you're like, okay, so like this is what my ex did to me, and like this is like my relationship, I'm like an anxious attachment, and like yeah, you like get pretty deep pretty fast. But like, honestly, that's always been interesting to me in life generally. Like, I don't really like small talk.
Well, isn't your Spotify bio like celebrating International Oversharing Day or something like that?
Totally.
Um,
Yeah, so I guess it lends itself well to that. Damn.
so in the chat, I just want to call out the fact Aaron said I had a dream that I made Brendan a T-shirt that said #1 frenetic, and I may have to actually do it. And then a bunch of people are saying yes. And then Aaron said, if Francis doesn't hate the term frenetic, I will.
No, it's pretty clever.
Yeah, right. I think so.
If anyone here self-identifies as a frenetic, like, who am I to stop you?
I self-identify as a frenetic from this moment forward.
Well, hey, maybe this is now my time to chime in. Hi.
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 Hi, guys.
Oh my god, my first time hearing your voice, Kristen. That's so
I
funny.
know, it's weird, right? It's awesome to connect with you guys. This is awesome. So this is going to be a question on behalf of myself and our fearless leader here, Brendan. I know the EP is coming out this fall. We're super excited for it. And we've been kind of mulling over the idea of asking you if you would be willing to do a acoustic version.
I like really want to, and we probably will.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think even doing a bunch of live shows in the past couple weeks, like, it was a good reminder of like how fun these songs are just in like pure form with guitar and vocal. I think like that's what's been so fun about like the surprise songs on Eras. Like, a great song is a great song without anything else around it. So I definitely am planning on doing that. And also, we had already talked about that. My managers and I think we'll just have to like find a time and stick me in a room and like give me like a Celsius, you know?
You definitely have
awesome.
like an enthusiastic group of fans that'll be like ready to just like eat that shit up.
That's so nice.
And when I feel like it's so like I don't know. I feel like you can appeal to like different audiences, like additional audiences that way, because it's like you got like the pop versions, but then there's like it's like you can simultaneously get the 1989 girlies and the Folklore Evermore girlies, like
Totally.
yeah. Um,
That's so nice.
Shout out to Kristen is like one of the original Fanatics. Kristen was a Fanatic before I was.
I've been following for a long time. I just don't have the platform that Brendan has. So I'm really glad that Brendan came upon you and has been able to showcase you the way that you deserve. So
Thank
thank
you.
you all.
So nice, Kristen. I really appreciate all your support and Brendan and everyone.
I I've been thinking lately about looking at the charts of Chapel Roan. This is a weird analogy, but bear with me. Looking at the charts of Chapel Roan's like just incredible soaring numbers on the charts and Spotify and stuff. It kind of like looks like a COVID chart. Like it has that exponential growth thing. And I was that made me think like I like to think that I'm a super spreader of Francis Whitney fever.
Good analogy.
um, um, what was I gonna say? The I had like a really good question that I wanted to ask, and then I totally forgot. Oh, I know. I'm not going to ask you like what's your favorite lyric that you've ever written, because I feel like that asking a songwriter that is like asking someone their favorite child. But like, do you have like my 12-year-old just said, "Dad, who's your favorite child?" Um, but like, do you have like plural favorites? Like, are there like particular? What are some of the like particular like lyrics that you're the most proud of?
Okay. I like. I like "You Can't Take Me With You, You Found a New Meaning, One Day I'll Find Forgiveness." I'm looking through my track list to try to remember stuff, but I don't necessarily have these off the dome. Um, what are my songs? Oh, I mean, I like "The Bridge of Easy Street." I guess that's not a lyric.
No, but the Bridge of Easy Street is so fucking good, and it is. I mean, it's basically. Didn't you used to call that the run-on sentence song? Like, it's basically is a lyric. Like the whole bridge is basically a single lyric.
True. It's like one. I think it's one sentence with some punctuation sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Um,
If there's anybody here who hasn't listened to the Bridge of Easy Street and you're a Swiftie, fucking listen to the Bridge of Easy Street, because it sounds like something Taylor Swift could have written. Like it sounds like it could have been lifted out of like Death by a Thousand Cuts or something. Like it's amazing.
That whole song is amazing. It's my favorite that I've heard.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy. I love that song. That song took a long time to finish.
Oh, Amy, do you have a question?
No, let Francis keep going for now, but I do have a question when she's
I don't
ready.
have a good answer. I don't have a good.
Okay, all right, good.
I'll get back to you though.
Okay.
So Francis, this is Amy. I can't come on so you can't see my face, although I think I'm on the picture. I'm in the Santa Cruz area in California, and I hear you're up and around this area somewhere, extended area. So when are we going to get you to play up here somewhere? And what can I do to help with that?
Amazing. I love Santa Cruz. I grew up in San Francisco. I live in LA now, but I think we're, as of now, planning to do a San Francisco show around the EP launch.
All right. Very, very cool. So I know that superfan Brendan will keep us posted on all of that, of course.
Oh, yeah,
but I wanted, sorry, stepping on your words there, but I want to tell you, if you do want to look at bringing something to Santa Cruz, let me know, and I will do whatever I can to help promote and get the word out, and yeah, get you set up. It would be amazing.
That's so nice. I'd
Yeah.
love to perform there. I think it's just now a dance of like continuing to grow, like such that if we were to like do a headlining show at one of these places, we can actually sell some tickets.
Yep.
I mean, I feel so lucky to already know people like you guys who are like willing to like help out and tell your friends and stuff. But obviously, it's really expensive to travel and bring, gear and get around. I think we're just trying to like time it right, if that makes sense.
Yep. Just putting it out there that if, there's ever any reason to come through town, you just let me know and we'll see what we can get set up.
Okay, Amy G.
All right. And then I have one other question, and I'm sorry if I missed the answer to this in the beginning because I was on a little late. So, what was your reaction when you first learned about Brendan? That's what I want to know.
That's hilarious. No one asked that. I'm trying to remember when I first. I don't know. What was our first interaction, Brendan?
That's
was
so funny because I was going to ask Brendan what his first
so
when
it
he first saw you, how he felt.
yeah, so it was on the April, it was like April 5th or 6th. It was like early April live. I mean, I have all these lives recorded, so I have an advantage over Francis here, and that I can like go back and rewatch them whenever I want. But it was a early April live, and I just was like in the kitchen, like going to get a late night snack, mindlessly scrolling through TikTok as one does, and I came across this singer singing Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, and it's one of my favorite songs. And so I was like, oh, I'll stick around and listen to this. And I'm like, she's got a really nice voice. And then she starts singing, I think you sang Easy Street next. And I wasn't really locked in. I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics, so I didn't like at that moment, like the bridge didn't hit me until later. But then you played Something I Wanted. And Something I Wanted, I was like, holy shit. Like I went from like, oh, this is a really nice, pleasant, like, oh, it's a TikTok singer singing songs, isn't that nice? To this is fucking art. Hang on, what did I just walk into? And so then I'm thinking like, okay, this must be like a Lily Fitz type situation. This must be somebody with hundreds of thousands of followers and like, and I'm just late to the party, right? And so then I click and I was like, wait. Like she has like fewer followers than me. How is this possible? This person is so talented. Like I don't understand. And so at that moment, I was like, it is my life's mission to promote Frances Whitney until she has more followers than Lily Fitz. No, it's not like a rivalry with Lily Fitz. I'm just using her as an example. But like, I know you like Lily. But like, I was like blown away by how talented you are both as a singer and a songwriter. Like. Because I just feel like the like being so good at both it just boggles my mind. But our first interaction, I can tell you, was, I think it was after you played Easy Street. You were talking about the fact that it was on Spotify because this was before Holding On came out, so it was your only song on Spotify, not counting the Days of the Dog songs, and you were like, everybody go listen to it on Spotify, and I said that I was going to add it to my Discord server's collaborative playlist. And you were like, hell yeah, MHB. That means so much. Yeah. I only remember that because I have it screen recorded. But that was that.
I actually vaguely remember reading the like immediate Noah Kahn vibe TikTok, the
Yes.
comments. Also, maybe I just remember that because I've seen it later. But I feel like an artist's like dream is for people to like really care about their art. So it's meant a lot to me, like the amount of interest Brendan has in my music and my lyrics and my old music and everything. Like it really does touch me, and also that he's introduced me to so many other people. Like it's my mom asked me today, she's like, did Brendan's like helped your career a little? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. She's like, I think so.
That makes me so happy to hear you say that.
But also, like, I think I can relate a lot to Brendan and probably all of you in that, like, my identity, my whole life has been that of a fan. Like, I'm a very fanatic person, an obsessive person, and like, I've always been very parasocially drawn to celebrities and musicians.
LeBron James. Sorry. Oh, never mind.
That one's embarrassing.
Okay. I won't say anything else about it. Never mind. You didn't hear it from me.
That one was like, I went uber viral on that one. So I feel like, it's just been nice getting to know Brendan as well as like this broader community, and it's like nice to have the foundation of being like Swifties, because I think it like almost creates a sort of shorthand, like it's like I get you guys, or I feel like you get me, kind of. Anyways, it's been like such a joy, and I feel very grateful. Yeah.
I just feel so grateful that like I just happened to stumble into that live that night. It's like there are two like musical moments. They both involve like food for some reason. That are like in sort of indelibly in my memory. The one was when I was at the grocery store in the produce aisle in November 2021 when I listened to All Too Well 10-minute version for the first time, because I wasn't a Swiftie until Red Taylor's version. Like I'm like a baby Swiftie. I'm an elder Swiftie, but also a baby Swiftie at the same time. And so like the first time I listened to that song, and I was like, holy shit! Oh, this is what everyone's been talking about. This is why. This is now I understand the Taylor Swift thing all of a sudden, and like that, and then you singing Something I Wanted, and like hearing like that live for the first time. Like those are the two things where I'm like, you know. Anyway.
That's great. That's great. It's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch the connection from out here and watching from both, seeing both sides of it. Brendan being so excited, and then you welcoming us all in and being a part of your journey. Thank you for letting us come along, Frances.
So much fun. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, you guys, that like, don't get me emotional here. Okay.
It was it was so funny at the LA show because like Catherine and I were talking about it beforehand, and she was like, "Do you think Frances thinks it's weird that we're like so excited to like?" And then your mom came out and was like, giving us friendship bracelets and shit. And
no, it was so fun.
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird. I don't think it's weird because it's some shit I would do, honestly.
Right? Okay, speaking of like Frances Whitney Nation and your fans like wanting to support you and shit. On the topic of Still Have July, which P.S. for those who haven't seen this or seen my video about it or whatever, Still Have July is like rocketing up the Spotify charts in the last 2 days. Like, what? Oh yeah, I made a video. I made a video right after I texted you or WhatsApped you. I made a video about it. So Still Have July in the last like 48 hours has like tripled in like plays, and then also like Frances's monthly listeners have like spiked. So anyway, my question is like, is there anything that we can do other than just like stream it and tell our friends to stream it? But like, can we like call radio stations or like, I don't know, is there like something that like your like super fans can do to like help grow the song?
Isaac, like I don't know.
Isaac, you wanna jump on and you wanna jump on the?
It's gonna sound annoying, not annoying, but like it was not really an answer. It's sort of a non-answer, but like genuinely. It's so much more meaningful. I just like don't look at the metrics. I do. Like when it was spiking, I looked. I was like, oh, that's cool. But like I don't check it daily. I'm like so much more interested in like connecting with you guys over the songs or like reading comments about like a lyric you like or like hearing from someone who likes them. That's like so poignant for me, such that like I'm not concerned about that. I think this music is gonna reach people at some point. I don't know which single it'll be or if it'll be the EP, but like, I don't know. Isaac, can you give me a better answer? I genuinely, like, I don't have like a CTA for you. If you like the song, listen to it, show your friends.
Now he said we're doing it, building a great community is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Oh, good job, Isaac. He and I will rock stuff.
Erin, Erin says that she has a question about Still Have July.
I saw that exact outfit on Pinterest. I'm not even joking.
Hit me.
Copied that exact outfit bit for bit.
I'm gonna look at my list of questions while you type out yours.
A tangible thing. I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna ask, but there's her question.
Oh, Sharp Glass, Barefoot, Bloodied Up, your nickname. What's the nickname? Toe,
like
Soul,
literally.
Foot.
That lyric's like really random. I like have a good answer for you. It was actually initially, and I have the first voice memo. It was initially. This is why I was like inspired by the book, but like also sort of just like it was almost like a fantasy of like if I were to have been a person that went to summer camp and had this like summer like annual flirtation with someone. The original voice note was a lyric. Let's find it. This is a good question. I wish I had a more fun answer for you. The original lyric was sharp glass barefoot. I gave you a nickname. Like it was so simple. And then the day we were recording, I was like, what if I like imply that like they stepped on glass and then we started calling them some funny name like pertinent to them having cut their foot open. But like I didn't even have a name in my head. You know what I mean? So this was the original.
Help me with lyrics on the hook, maybe.
It's like the very first time I wrote.
Short glass, barefoot, I gave you a nickname.
And the next thing was the same.
Wet hair, tangled, swimming in the rain.
But I don't know, I liked this idea that like you're like, oh, like it's like kind of scary at first. Someone steps on glass and they're barefoot on the beach and then their foot's gushing blood, and then like once it's like the wound has healed or the bandage has been put on them, you're like, like, and then it's like this running joke. So that was sort of like the lore I had invented in my head, but it was like basically entirely made up.
That's so cool. That like that's kind of how I sort of heard it, as like almost like a double meaning of like the nickname. The bloodied up is obviously a reference to the sharp glass, but then it's also like you're using the nickname so much that it's almost like you're like wearing it out or something, you know? Like,
oh, I like that a lot. See, like once it's out there, it's yours to interpret. That's pretty good.
I mean,
I didn't even think of that.
Lily. Okay, so my 12-year-old's one of my 12-year-old's besties has joined the chat, Lily, and asked, Brendan, what's your favorite Frances Whitney song? Which, P.S. Before, Lily, I will answer the question, but I have to say this while I think of it. Frances, one of my oldest kid, my 16-year-old, one of their friends, like independently of me, likes your music, and like, and so they were like my daughter was like, so and so likes Frances Whitney, and I was like, wait, really? Like, and so then I ended up like texting on a text thread with my daughter and this kid, because I don't want to like just text some, you know, it's weird if I'm like just texting this like 16-year-old, but I'm like, it's with my daughter, so it's fine. And I was like, oh my God, you like Frances Whitney too. So we had this whole back and forth about like what our favorite songs are and shit. So you have like, you know, random teenagers in Denver that are like into your music. My favorite Frances Whitney song is Hollow, but it's a really Hollow and Orion are both masterpieces. They're both fucking masterpieces. And if you guys, if there's people here who aren't familiar with them yet, they're not under the name Frances Whitney, even though I keep trying to tell Frances that she should, whatever. No, but they're under, so if you go on Spotify, they're under Daisy the Dog, all one word. If you go on Apple Music, they're under Frances Lee. But Hollow is so good that, like, the way I always explain it is that if it were on the Tortured Poets department, which it totally could be, like it would fit in with the vibe of like the anthology, it would be my favorite song on the Tortured Poets department. It would be like Hollow, Black Dog, like that would be the order. It's so good. And then Orion is also what? And then Orion is also just absolutely amazing, especially if you sort of like when you hear Frances talk about the backstory of that song. It's like it's so moving, and it just speaks to something that like a lot of us have been through in one form or another, of like having someone that you care deeply about who's like going through it, and like you just want to help them and you don't know how, you know. And then Something I Wanted, which to me, and I was going to ask you about this, to the extent that you know, I mean, like to the extent that you're able and willing and want to answer. If you don't want to, that's fine. But like to me, there's an interesting connection. I talked to your mom about this in LA. I can't remember if I talked to you about it, but like there's something about Hollow and Something I Wanted that feel to me like there's like an invisible string, if you will, between those songs, where it's like Something I Wanted is almost like closing the book on something that was happening in Hollow, and like I think I texted you the idea of like in Something I Wanted, when you say a little bored, a little blue when I'm untethered, like that could almost be like the perspective of someone who's like a little older, a little wiser, a little just more like less distressed, looking back on a time when it felt like what once was full was hollow. And like that those it almost could be like two descriptions of the same thing. So I don't know. I'm curious if you have any thoughts on those two songs and how they relate to each other, if at all, for you. But those are my three favorites.
Yeah, that's a great thank you, first of all. That's so thoughtful. That's a really good question, and I never really thought of it in those terms, but I don't like actively write about my relationship with myself often. Hollow is very much one of those songs, and Something I Wanted, while it like very much approaches moving on from a romantic relationship and a professional relationship with my former employer,
it's also very much about my relationship with myself and like those quiet moments with myself. And I just think I'm like my mental health is like exponentially better than it was 5 years ago when I wrote Hollow. And yeah, I was like really cynical at the time I was writing that. Hollow's also very much about, well, not very much, but it felt to me like a song about my relationship with substances and partying too. So yeah, I do think I'm just like generally more optimistic these days, and I like myself more. Whereas Hollow, it was written at a time where I was like, I used to be like someone I'm not, and I don't really like who I've become. So yeah, I think that they are related, and if anything, something I wanted is like an older version of Hollow with better mental health.
That's a great way of putting it. And like, I'm so happy, just on a personal level. I'm so happy that like you are in a better place, and that you can give us the art that Hollow is without that being where you are at now, because like it was like that song is so beautiful and so heartbreaking at the same time, you know. And by the way, on the topic of how much I love Hollow, was just looking at this earlier today. If I go into my stats.fm and I look at my top tracks in terms of the number of times that I played them over the last 6 years, since July 1st, 2018, Hollow is number 2. And I've been listening to that song for less than 2 months. And it is my number 2 song behind Champagne Problems. Champagne Problems, Hollow.
That's a goated song.
It is.
I was wondering if people were going to ask me my favorite Taylor song, and I was going to say that, at least in my top 3.
Oh, Champagne Problems? Oh my God. Like, we just became best friends. Champagne Problems.
Hey, Francis, while we're at it, what is your favorite Taylor song?
I have like a really random answer, but I was starting to look through her track list to like make sure I'm not forgetting any. But like, I'm obsessed with Cowboy Like Me. I think it's one of her best songs. It's such a weird song structurally, but I just think it like really captures a lot of what I like about her. It's sort of storytelling, almost seemingly from a third person perspective that she's not involved in, but it also to me like really evokes like queer yearning. That's how I've always interpreted that song. And then there's just some like zingers in it. Like, I love the melody that's like, you had some tricks up your sleeve, and I love the like sitting at an airport bar line, hang from your lips like the guards of that. Like, I just
Yep.
But I feel like I'm probably forgetting some.
You know,
You just kind of made me like that song better.
So good. That's just like Aaron, Desner, and Taylor at their very best.
What are your top 3 Taylor albums?
Sorry, what?
What are your top 3 Taylor albums?
Like Folklore, Evermore. Well, actually, wait. Folklore.
Okay, I think Hot actually did that one originally. Or, like,
Folklore, Evermore, 1989. But I actually like love Midnights, and I really like TTBD too. I feel like those are like 4 and 5 for me.
Honestly, great answer.
What are yours?
Okay, so Reputation and Lover kind of flip 1 and 2, and then Evermore. I didn't like technically, so I did the spreadsheet with like the numbers, so because I'm like such a nerd.
Wait, what do you like? You mathematically
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did a spreadsheet and I put like I ranked all of my songs and it spit them out in like a numerical number for me. So Reputation and Lover are literally like 0.02 like separated.
That's
and then
probably a more accurate way to do it, for sure.
then just because I feel like any single day like the vibes could be like, oh, Speak Now is my favorite, or like, oh, Midnight's my favorite, but like
Totally.
mathematically, Reputation and Lover and then Evermore are top 3.
Nice. Honestly, Lover, the song, is also like one of my favorite Taylor songs. Like, I feel like sometimes because it's such a big song of hers, I forget, but like that song is a perfect song. It's a perfect song. And it's so Taylor. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched the New York Times, like, diary of a song where she describes the writing process around Lover, but it just kills me. And it's like, she's so charming and sort of dorky and, like, so passionate and enthusiastic while describing her lyrics. And it's like, it just makes me, like, love her so much.
I just want to acknowledge all of the Gaylors in the chat who I'm sure in the like 20 seconds between when you mentioned Cowboy Like Me and when you said queer yearning were like sitting there on their keyboards like ready to go, like ready to express their thoughts about that song. No, I don't think there were actually any comments. I just feel like there had to be a bunch of Gaylors that like had things they wanted to say because that's like the first thing that comes to mind for me with that song.
Yeah, no, for sure. And honestly, like, you said you became a Taylor fan around Red. Like, I was late. Obviously I knew her discography fairly well just because I consume pop culture and I listen to a lot of music. But I really didn't, like, become a Swiftie till, like, Folklore Evermore, sort of. And I think, like, I supercharged into my, like, Swiftie-hood, if you can call it that, when I started getting, like, Gaylor content. Because I just could, like, connect with a lot of the songs that were, like, presumably written about Carly and stuff in a different way, in a deeper way, and it just like brought so much complexity to the art for me.
I'm the same. I was on the, like, for me it was like I joined TikTok and then I got on the lesbian TikTok to Gaylor to Swiftie pipeline. Like I was a Gaylor before I was a Taylor Swift fan, or at least I was consuming Gaylor content. Because the thing is that as soon as I joined TikTok for sea shanties. If you remember, there was a sea shanty trend back in like early 2021. And I joined TikTok for the sea shanties, and then within 2 weeks the algorithm had decided that I'm a lesbian, which is fair. And so and so I was like on lesbian TikTok, and so then the Gaylor content just started. And so by the time Red Taylor's version came out, I was like getting all this like Gaylor lore that I had never heard of before. Because up until that point, I had just, I knew her radio hits, but like, I don't think I ever even heard All Too Well 5-minute version, like before listening to All Too Well 10-minute version. Like, that's so funny though. The SwiftGron content.
No, but Cowboy Like Me is so Brokeback Mountain coded. I don't know if that's what someone.
Yes.
Is that what someone?
Yeah. Lisa said that.
But I always interpreted it as like, yeah, she's like disguising this love story that's like subtly sort of giving Brokeback Mountain, but it's also just about her and a woman who was also famous and like conned all these rich and famous people, and like, in the chorus. I don't know. It's just interesting how like we all bring our own perspectives to these songs.
Right.
She's a genius. Lucky.
Brendan. Okay, so my other, the other bestie of my 12-year-old is now on the chat and says, Brendan, does being an influencer or a lawyer make you more money? I make no money doing this shit. Definitely being a lawyer. This is my.
So why don't you lawyer more?
This is my.
Get off of mine.
Now my 12-year-old is harassing me that I should make more money and stop making TikToks.
Yeah, but we need our side hustles, even if just for inspiring us.
I mean,
keeping us happy.
I feel like the like stuff that I make on TikTok, like at its best, the cool stuff that I make on TikTok, like my edits, my Eras Tour edits, or my Frances Whitney content, or whatever, like puts more. I feel like I add more value to the world with that than like anything I do in my day job. Like my day job is fine; it's a job. Like it's whatever. Like it's fine. But like.
Have you stopped somebody from going to jail, and you think that?
But like, yeah, like I don't know.
Right, there's other currency, right?
Yeah.
There's so much currency. Like that's what. Sorry, jumping in here, but the whole Eras Tour Taylor stuff, which I fell into because of my teenage daughter and wanting to have something to connect to with her. I knew Taylor Swift and I knew songs that were popular, but it's opened this whole new world and new friendships and connections and getting more interested in music and finding people like Brendan and now Frances and the and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So it's great that you have potential for a side hustle, but yeah, a side hustle for different currency, right? It's a totally different thing.
I mean, in the words of one of my favorite artists, nothing pays better than doing what you love.
Right.
That's just something
That
I
might
wanted
be
to
one of my
reference.
favorite lyrics, so I know. There you go.
Um, that actually like kind of leads into something else I wanted to ask you about, which is like you made a video a while back, where you were like I think you'd found an old video of your when you were first writing Easy Street maybe, and you were like sobbing like after you'd been like intensely writing the song, and you talked in the video looking back on this other video. This is a complicated explanation, but like the point is you were talking about how difficult it can be, like dredging up all that stuff, and I feel like this is something that is very much like of the moment. Like this is like the moment of the female singer songwriter writing confessional songs about shit in their lives, right? Like you, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Chappell Roan, on and no, on and it's like the authenticity is part of the appeal, but it also has to be hard, like to do that. Like, how do you sort of navigate that, or are you still figuring out how to navigate that? Like, it feels like it's putting a lot on you and like other songwriters to be like, hey, we want you to entertain us by spilling your deepest, darkest secrets in the most painful way possible so that we can all like have empathy. Go, you know?
I don't see it that way. Everything I do is with my own consent. I could like write songs that were fabricated or invented or maybe just like a bit more generic, but I just like wouldn't really have a lot of interest in singing those songs. I think for me as a songwriter and as a singer, like my greatest joy is being honest in my music and like finding out the truth, sometimes uncovering the truth in songwriting, like through songwriting. I've like referred to songwriting as a tool many times, but it feels so true to me in the sense that like, I don't know, sometimes I literally like I figure out how I'm feeling about something in the process of writing a song. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I've never had a problem with like sharing intimate details from my life because it's always really usually always led to like connection with others and like feeling a lot less alone and realizing that others have had similar experiences or can relate to it. And then in terms of like, yeah, sometimes it's painful to like be like, I need a fucking bridge for this song, so I have to like write 6 different versions of it and think about specific anecdotes and memories with this ex that was like low-key like evil, and like had brought me to such a low point for a long time. But I think like we all need to cry, and like it's cathartic to cry. It's cathartic to be like, fuck, that happened to me and that was really shitty and like it still hurts me and I'm still in pain over it. The alternative, I suppose, would be to just like not really realize that that's still living inside of you. I like crying. Like I like love sad movies. I like crying. I like feeling. So it's sometimes it sucks, but like also I like crying. I honestly do.
That's you totally answered my question. That's super interesting. And also like the thing you said about how sometimes you have to like sit down and write the song to process and understand how you feel is like so Scared of My Guitar Coded. Like that.
I think about that song so much because I have been scared of my guitar for the last week. I'm like, bitch, don't look at me. I'm like, stop. I'm like, don't look at me. I don't want to, because I don't really know how I'm feeling about something that's happening to me in my life. And I'm like, I don't want to know. Like, I'm not ready to know. Because you do unearth things in writing songs if you are committed to being honest. Otherwise, you're just writing lyrics that rhyme.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that song is just like, so for me, it's like, it's interesting, like, as a consumer of this type of music, but not someone who like has the, I could never do what you do. I could never like, I could write a mean legal brief. I could write a mean like news article, but like this sort of artistic type writing is never. But like, what's interesting about it for me is that like, I'm someone who, hello, I'm talking. Would you like to say something, child?
Francis
Hi,
Whitney, I have
child.
nothing against you, but if this guy talks for one more minute, I'm going
Oh,
to
you're like, please give me my father back. I'm so. Yeah, no, I feel you. But it's not my fault. Don't blame it on me.
She's just annoyed because she wants to like do her gaming on her computer, and I'm down here. What would you say? Yapping. I'm down here yapping.
Oh, are you disrupting her gaming?
Yeah, we like share a space in the basement. So yeah, whenever I'm on live, she's always like, "Dad, when are you gonna be off live?"
Her do her gaming. Maybe you guys should agree upon. I don't want your daughter to hate me. I'm really scared.
No. She doesn't hate you. All of my kids have. So okay. In fairness, here's the thing. It's actually a really good sign because like so this one's 12 and then the other and about to turn 13. They're basically all teenagers. Like within a few weeks of being teenagers. And they all have at least like one, if not multiple songs of yours that they like, even though their dad is constantly fucking talking about Francis Whitney. And so that would mean that by rights should make you very uncool because I'm their dad. Right. But
I'm fighting an uphill battle.
right. And yeah, like, my oldest says like asked me today. I got in the car with them and they said, "Can you play Still Have July, Dad?" That happened today.
Before I had ever listened to Still Have July, I knew the chorus.
Yeah.
Because you had sung it so much.
I don't know if you hear that. I don't know if you could pick.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It checks out.
Yeah, because I was like listening. I was constantly listening to it to the like master that you sent me, and because we're in the same room, she'd be the one who would hear me all the time, sitting here being like, "Sharp glass, barefoot." Anyway, I lost my train of thought of whatever I was saying before, but it doesn't matter. Let me see if there's any other. I love how this is basically a FaceTime. Totally true.
Brennan, I'd like to chime in for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're not talented enough, but you definitely wrote your own song there with Neurodivergent Girlies.
That's true.
Hop in.
That's true. I can do a good parody. Song, but I need someone else to have written the original song that I'm then picking apart and putting in new words into. Like I've done some pretty good ones. I did one of my best ones was also one of my most esoteric and obscure, but Francis, I feel like you might appreciate this. I don't know. So like back during the Euro crisis with like Greece, when like Greece was like, because I know you lived in Greece for a little while. This was well before that, but like when Greece was having all that drama about they were going to leave the EU or not and whatever, and like they were like fighting with Germany about what to do about their debt and shit. Anyway, I wrote a song based on Defying Gravity called Defying Germany, and it was really fucking good, and it ended up with like it was like and no one in the Eurozone, nor Merkel on her moneyed throne, is ever gonna make me pay. So anyway, yeah, I could do a good parody.
Okay, I like that. Maybe, yeah.
By the way, Francis, you gotta cover Neurodivergent Girlies. That would make my life.
Okay, when's your birthday? Maybe I'll.
October 30th. Yeah, you got to go live on my birthday and sing Neurodivergent Girlies.
Okay. Okay, I'm in.
I see a world tour in the making.
Brendan, you're like the Gaylor Weird Al.
The Gaylor Weird Al. I love that. We're working Merkel into a tune is art. Thank you, Lisa. I thought so too. Okay. I have a couple other questions, but I don't know if I don't want to like talk over everybody. If anybody else has, I'm just scrolling up through chat to see if we missed anything.
Go for it. I've forgotten everything I wanted to ask.
One thing that like I'm just curious to hear your thoughts about. We've talked about this a little bit over like I don't know WhatsApp or whatever, but like I've noticed in like watching. I mean, obviously watching your LA concert in person, but then also seeing like the clips of on Instagram and stuff from like your Toronto concerts and your Troubadour concert. It's so like interesting and sort of impressive and compelling to see how like even over that short span of time, it's like I can tell that you're getting more comfortable on stage because you're doing more of your like, I don't know what to call them. I don't know what the fucking music theory word is for it, but like your like your improvisations, your like vocal riffs and things like. But like, can you talk about that like sort of that the relationship between like that like comfort level and like the way that you sing? Because I just think it's like for your particular style, it's like so fucking interesting. I don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, performing's really a reps thing, and like I had taken a long break from the stage before my most recent shows, or really before the Troubadour. So I don't know, with each show, especially I did 3 back-to-back in Toronto, like I just got way more comfortable, and that like seeps into my banter with the audience and like what I say in between songs, like literally my physical like I'm not as like shaky. And then vocally, like once I've done a song multiple nights in a row and I feel really comfortable with it, it's my preference as a vocalist to like mix it up a little. And I get that like people get annoyed at that sometimes. Like sometimes artists are like changing everything and you're like, I can't even sing along. Like I definitely am conscious of that. But as much as I like inspired by lyricists, I'm also really inspired by like exceptional vocalists and vocal runs. Like anything sort of in that arena is always like been very impressive to me. I don't really know. It's a good question. I haven't thought about it too much.
Francis, I respectfully disagree with a little bit of a vocal run or a little bit of a change up. I mean, if you notice anybody watching any of the Eras tours live and things like that, they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you notice that note change?"
No,
so
totally.
yeah, a little bit of it is awesome. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. No, I intend to. And like I totally agree that like we love a note change. It's like exciting. It can breathe new life into a song. Also, like sometimes there are alternate melodies within a song that like might even be better that you didn't think of when you were recording it. But like, you know, like we've all seen the videos where it's like they've changed the song entirely to the point where it's like almost unrecognizable. But yeah, I enjoy that.
I think one of the oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, that's all I had to say.
No, I was just gonna say I think that like one of the things that I find so like compelling and awesome about the way that you do it is precisely that it's like often pretty subtle and like limited, but it's so well done for what it is. But it's like I would never accuse you of like overdoing it with the vocal runs. Where like, you know, some artists, and it's just obviously this is like a taste, you know, a matter of taste, but you know, for some people would love it, but like there's some artists who will like just kind of go nuts and they'll like, you know, the runs will last for a super long time. And with you, it's like you might just do a little tweak on one note where it's just like you're just running one note into the other in this really quick and subtle way, and then the next time you sing the song, it's with a different note, but you never fucking miss. Like it's always good, but it's like so. Yeah, I don't want to say that it's effortless because I'm sure it's not effortless, but it feels effortless and it feels like so, like just like perfectly calibrated. Like it's not too much, it's not too little. It's like it's always just right. I don't know. It's I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do it. It's like it's amazing to me.
I honestly don't know either. I think like it's just like from growing up and like singing along in the car to songs and like having this urge inside of me to like mix it up and like try something slightly different while singing along, and then that sort of like seeps into your own music. Also, like sometimes you record a song the day you write it, and then the more you sing it and the more, you know, acquainted you get with the song, like you think of, I don't know. It's an interesting one, but that's so nice of you to say that, all of that.
I feel like this might be another opportunity to say, oh, sorry.
Is the one note change gone?
Well, because the one is gone.
Oh. Did she not do that anymore?
The one she took the song out of the new combined Folkmore.
Oh my God, the one is gone.
Yeah.
R.I.P. One note change. Okay, sorry, who did I interrupt?
It was me, sorry. I just wanted to say this might be another opportunity to say this would be a great reason for you to put out an acoustic version.
Yep.
I can do some note changing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the Long Pond studio sessions. No, it's the Laurel Canyon in these Laurel Canyon haze or something. Laurel Canyon fanboy haze. You know, Brandy Carlisle has one of her albums has in these Canyon Haze or something. It's like the equivalent of like the Long Pond version of. So yeah, you could do the acoustic EP is like in this Laurel Canyon fanboy haze.
And I promise, Brendan did not pay me to keep promoting the acoustic version.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you, Chris. That makes me feel good, though. There's multiple people interested. I mean, I'm interested in doing it also just from like from my own perspective too. So like, even if it doesn't stream that well, is all I'm saying. Like, I'm still down to do it.
I think you might be surprised. Like, I think it might stream well because I think there's like, I don't know. I think there's like maybe my perspective is skewed by like the nature of my audience and the fact that it's like, you know, my TikTok audience is like a bunch of sapphics and gaylors, but like, but there's like I think there's a real segment of a fan base that will absolutely eat that up. Like, I think it's just those, you know, I don't know. Like when I'm when I'm introducing people to your music, like I always want to like send them at least one video of one of your acoustic performances because it's like you to fully understand why I'm so enthusiastic about this artist, you have to hear her sing XY song in acoustic because it's like, you know, which is no shade to like the pop versions because like fucking Still Have July is incredible, right? But like the acoustic stuff is having both would be just a dream. It would be a dream. That's all I want for Christmas.
Period. Noted.
Noted. The what's more like, and talking about nerves on stage and stuff. One thing that like we were talking about, I remember like Catherine and Lacey and I were talking about in LA was like whether it would be more or less nerve wracking for you. This is before you came out of stage. We were just like wondering where like a lot of the people at that show were like friends and family, and you know, like I think your grandma was there, and I was standing next to some like friends of yours from Yale and shit. Like it was a lot of people from like who were out there to support you from your life, and it's like, and not to mention Christina on the prowl in the front row, or not on the prowl, right? Because it was Tuesday, not Wednesday. But like, is it more nerve wracking singing to like people that you know, or singing to like an audience of Wasia Project fans or total strangers or what? Like,
you know what? I always used to say it was more nerve-wracking to perform for people I know. But I think I've switched.
Yeah.
Because recently I've done, like, the shows in front of Katie Tupper's fans, for example, were really nerve-wracking to me because I'm trying to make a first impression on these people, and like they're already fans of this amazing artist whom I admire and respect and is cool as fuck. So I'm like, oh, like, you know, do you guys like me too? You know, it's like a feeling of like trying to get people to like you, kind of. I definitely like found what comforted me during those shows was like I would just find a face in the front few rows that like really looked engaged and friendly, and I would like really spend a lot of time looking at them. I actually like having all my friends at the Winston House show made it a lot less nerve-wracking because I could do the same thing, but with people who I know like love me despite what happens on the stage. Like even if I fuck up. So
Natty, what did Natty say?
Katie Tupper is slay, Alex. I agree.
Katie Tupper is so good.
Great.
Like I've become a Katie Tupper fan. Oh my God! I had this revelation yesterday. Okay, so somebody was in some other context unrelated to you, unrelated to Katie Tupper, unrelated to anything. I don't remember what the context was, but somebody was referencing the Britney Spears song "Crazy." Isn't it Crazy or Lucky? And I was like, suddenly realized that was the fucking song that you guys were singing as a duet. It was your like version of it was so different and so like cool. It was like I literally thought it was some old-timey song that I didn't know, and I did not put it together that it was, and I only saw a piece of it because I just saw like somebody's Instagram story. I didn't see the whole thing, but I didn't recognize that it was the Britney Spears song because I didn't like like I know the song, but it's not like on my top 100 songs that I have memorized or whatever. And so suddenly yesterday I was like, holy shit, that was a Britney Spears song. Like, wow, because it was the way that you guys sang it. It sounded so like something from the 1930s, and like it just felt so like old timey and awesome. I don't know. Anyway,
That was all Katie's idea. Take no credit for that. But yeah, it was a very dramatic and cool reimagining of a very fun pop song.
Yeah.
Which I always think is like such a cool thing about covers, is like bringing, because that song is so upbeat and pop, and like it's so early 2000s Britney, but like it's really like sad lyrically if you actually take in what she's saying. It's about how like fame is like destroying this third person girl who's ostensibly, if you read between the lines, is Britney.
Right.
So when slowed down and like sort of sang in a more melancholy way, you can feel how sad the song actually is, which I think is so cool about covers.
Yeah. Alex is asking Francis top concert of all time.
I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna give you a good answer.
While you ponder that for a second, I think Natty's question still got overlooked, Brendan. I'm not sure if it was someone's commenting that. That's all.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if I've scrolled up to it, or was it the thing about the vinyls? Also, Alex wants you to come back to Canada, by the way.
Okay, I'll be back to Canada for sure. Don't worry, Alex. I'm like in Canada all the time. Probably Vancouver and Toronto, so I don't know which side of the country you're on. This is a hard question for me. I saw Elton John with my mom at like Outside Lands, which is, I grew up in San Francisco, and that was like our festival, and typically like I would go with my friends and whatever. It was like a thing we did in high school, but on the Elton John headlining day I went with my mom, and I was like really raised on Elton, and I love Elton John. And I like didn't hang out with my friends the whole day, and she and I waited basically probably 5 rows behind barricade all day through like 5 sets, and like I think we peed in cups, like it was that serious. And I'd never seen Elton John, but I'd grown up singing those songs with her in the car, and I just like, it's like one of my favorite memories, just like singing those songs with her. And he's such a legend. Oh, my parents just got home actually.
The
Hey.
Hi, Whitney.
Oh, God. Mom, don't come on the live. I'm like gonna be this. I'm live. She goes, "Are you live?" You guys are like besties now. It's like,
I know, Brendan.
chill.
I really think you're the best.
I think you're the best, Whitney. I need to send you a friendship bracelet referencing the donut picture.
He really likes our donut painting.
Oh, you do. I know. It's
mom's.
a really cool painting.
It's my favorite. So yeah, that's I'm gonna like I gotta make you a friendship bracelet about the donuts. Stay tuned.
What about donuts?
Yeah, he wants to write like donuts on one.
Why don't you write like, donut? We still have July.
What was that? Okay, God.
Okay, so Natty, there have been a few comments here. First of all, before I forget, what you said about Elton John is another reason why, if you haven't yet, you have to read, or better yet, listen to Brandy Carlisle's. Have you listened to it?
No, but I know she loves Elton.
And she talks about him a lot in her autobiography. She talks about like growing up on Elton and like.
Brandy, not you.
I love Elton too.
Okay, she's like.
Okay, so Rachel and Natty are saying that we need to like get all of our, we need to get these Francis Whitney Nation folks who are here on the list for autographed vinyls. So
Isaac, are we making vinyls?
Isaac, we got to make some vinyls.
Okay, we'll make a small batch of vinyls.
Sweet.
Okay.
And Catherine wants to know, what's your dream venue to play?
The Bowl, Hollywood Bowl.
Mm.
I think it's like the most special thing in LA. Like seeing a show at the Bowl and turning around and seeing the trees and like, I don't know, I really associate it with the summertime. And I saw Boy Genius there on Halloween recently, and I don't know, they're such rock stars, and I was just like so emotional. That would be my dream for sure.
Hollywood Bowl. Are you going to go to Joni Jam at the Hollywood Bowl?
I need to get tickets, but I think so.
Yeah. You should.
Are you going? I heard Brandy's doing some stuff.
Oh yeah, Brandy's. It's like Brandy is like.
Before.
Oh, okay. No, I tried to get tickets, and considering I just got tickets with my wife to go to Girls Just Want a Weekend in Mexico, I'm not sure I'll be able to convince her to also do LA. But you, I think, I already messaged you about this. I don't know. I feel like if you could play, you could like collaborate with the Carlisle family band, like Brandy's niece and nephew, at the gig the night before, because even though you're a bigger act than them, whatever, but like the Bramley, they will punch above their weight class in terms of the audience for that show, because the Bramley comes out in force for that little band, and Brandy herself might be there. She was there when I met Brandy in Fargo because I went to see the Carlisle. They used to be called Small Town Strings. I went to see them like the day of her show with Pink, and that's how I met Brandy and gave her a friendship bracelet. But like anyway, like I feel like if you did like, you know, a joint thing or an opening or whatever with them, the Bramley would fucking love you. And if you get a bunch of like Bramley people who are like loyal to you, they will like go to the ends of the earth following you. Right? They will like travel all around, and you'll have it, like let 100 Mile High Brendans bloom if the Bramley like catches on to Frances Whitney. So I'm just saying, the night before the first Joni Jam show, you should.
Okay.
I
like that idea, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Well, that seems like an Isaac.
Yeah, you just tell Isaac to pester me about it.
Okay.
Not that Isaac can't do his job without me, but I know about that particular band. I went to see them out here in Denver.
Wait, I'm now fixating on Alex's question about my favorite intro track of all time, because I've never heard someone ask that. But I'm looking up track lists because I'm like, nothing comes to mind immediately.
Favorite intro? Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like on an album?
Like like track one? Huh.
Is that what that means, Alex? But okay. Oh no. What did I do? Am I still here?
You're still there. You just.
You have a deep obsession with intro track. Okay, but I didn't mean to gloss over the Brandy thing. Obviously, that would be amazing. I just don't know how to do that. So, but I like where your head's at.
I may be slightly obsessed with trying to get you on Brandy Carlisle's radar.
But I think it's. Look, I'm all for it. Keep it up.
Alex, is the question like favorite track ones? Is that what we're talking about? Or is it something more specific than that?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused now.
I feel like.
Well, the one is the intro track of Folklore. Nike's is the intro track of Blonde by Frank Ocean, which is a great song. I was just looking at.
Here, I did a ranked list. I did ranked track ones of Brandy and Taylor.
Oh, you've already done this?
I did this I like a while back, and this was also before Tortured Poets, but I have
I didn't even read that.
Wherever Is Your Heart by Brandy Carlisle is my number one of those two artists, which is from Far Washer's Daughter, which is my favorite Brandy album. State of Grace is another really good one.
I think outside of those, Marry the Night from Born This Way by Gaga.
What's the track one on the first Katy Perry record? Okay, sorry. I've really sent us down a rabbit hole. Actually, Alex did it. It wasn't me. the boy, Whitney Q+A. Oh, I don't even know that song. Okay, never mind.
So I I'm trying to. Are there other questions that I fell behind on here? I also don't know. Like, I don't want to keep you longer than you want to stay, but also if like anybody, if you want to like, we haven't asked you to play any songs yet, but
I'm happy to play some songs. Maybe we go till like 8:45 Pacific.
that's
So
fine.
like, yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to go as long as you want to go. So,
Or I can play songs. I don't.
um,
Oh, your daughter would like this to end immediately.
yeah. Well, if you're playing songs, I won't be talking as much. So,
Okay, well then keep talking.
Yeah.
We do.
No, but I mean that. I mean, like, then she'll be happy. Is what I mean. Yeah, daughter's overruled. Exactly. Can we get a peek into your BT spreadsheet says, can we get a peek into your songwriting process? Alex says more talking.
Alex, you are.
I actually just wrote a lyric today that I never shut up, but suddenly I'm stuttering. Speaking of talking, is what I said. Songwriting process. Okay, like, do you have a specific question? Because it kind of looks different every time. I'm like periodically writing things down in my notes app when they come to my mind, but generally I'm writing most of my lyrics with a guitar in hand. I don't really write poetry anymore, or even like diary entries much. I'm like typically holding a guitar, strumming till I find a progression I like. Once I find a melody I like, I'm like singing lyrics, and then I tweak from there. There's something about holding the guitar, I kind of need it for my brain. And then I'll edit songs. Sometimes I write them like really quickly first day, and nothing ever changes, and they get released that way. But like sometimes
Hey Francis, when you're playing those chords, do you record on your phone so like you don't lose them?
Yeah, Adrienne Lenker, whom I love, talked in her songwriting course that she hosted like a couple months ago about sometimes she avoids voice memoing because she's like, if the melody's strong enough and memorable enough, you shouldn't forget it, which I thought was interesting. But I voice memo throughout, and like I have so many voice note memos that are like 8 minutes long of me like finding lyrics and changing words and changing melodies. So it's definitely a helpful tool, because the worst thing is when you like think you come up with something good and then it like escapes you.
Rachel was just saying she has to go, but if you're still here, Rachel, before you go, she had asked, how did you choose your performing name?
Oh, my mom's first name is Whitney. I think like I liked how it sounded. I liked that Whitney and Francis have the same amount of letters, but I also, not to be sappy, but like I feel in many ways like so much of my identity is my mom, and my relationship with my mom is so foundational to like everything for me, and is really important in my relationship with music too. So it like made sense to me on a sentimental level too. Like a sitcom. Like I've always wanted to like name a kid Whitney, gender agnostic. Like it's just a great name.
Amy asked if you could choose anyone to sing a duet with, who would it be?
This is like
Anyone.
hypothetical.
Anyone.
I know. Oh my god, like I'm sick. I don't want to make a choice. I know this is going to seem really random. Okay, wait. Let me make sure What if they're dead? Can they be dead?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd have to say Jenny. I wasn't going to. I actually was going to say something really random and deep cut, but like, I think Jenny. I mean, come on.
Wait, who? I'm sorry, I couldn't. You were like a little muffled. I couldn't.
Nice.
That's a good question, though. I had also considered saying Elton. I considered saying Tom Petty. I considered saying Jackson Brown. Considered saying Taylor, and I very much considered saying Phoebe Bridgers, but I feel like I had to go with like something more outlandish because we're in hypothetical land anyway, you know. Not that that's not outlandish. It's very outlandish, but
Yeah, Phoebe would have been the betting favorite on that question if
yeah,
there
I
were
was
Vegas
honestly
odds.
gonna say Phoebe, and then I overthink it, but overthought it. But yeah, Jackson Brown would also be Jackson Brown. Then I was gonna say Jackson Brown, and then I don't know. I don't know.
And then Alex had a good question. Alex said, "How hard is it to draw the line between being a music fan and having your own individual style?"
That's a really good question. And like honestly, there is some level of like what you are inspired by and listening to a lot in any given moment will influence, for me at least, how my like what kind of lyrics I'm writing, what kind of like production I'm drawn to. Um and I'm not sure I have a total answer for it. I think like being what's cool about being a fan of music and lots of different types of music is like when you're writing a song, like you are subconsciously being inspired by all of the melodic choices and lyrical choices made by all of those people, if that makes sense. So like if I play a G chord, a C chord, and an A minor and a D, like there's infinite vocal melodies that you could sing on top of that. And when you sing one, it's like literally just comes out of your brain. It's like a guess. Like you just kind of you hear it in your brain and you sing it, and it's sort of random. But that like is a product of me listening to Frank Ocean and Jackson Brown and Phoebe and Taylor and whomever, Neil Young. So I think like listening to lots of music is what makes good music, if that makes sense. But also you have to like sometimes you have to be like, I'm not trying to sound exactly like these people, and like find your own sound.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you ever find yourself strumming a melody and wondering, oh shoot, was this something that I heard the other day? And am I trying to, do I have to find like, what's the word? Interpolation? I can never pronounce that. Yeah. And then you struggle and you're like, shoot, am I, covering somebody, or am I trying to find my own thing?
Totally. That's a great question.
Okay.
That happens all the time. And that's sort of like when you're working with other musical collaborators, you have to like check each other, because like it's sometimes you will unintentionally sing a melody that's already a song.
Right.
And then like hopefully someone in the room is like, no, that's that Bruno Mars song or whatever.
Gotcha.
But you could also like be like, oh, it's kind of close to that, but like if we change enough, it's not.
Right.
But
Thanks for answering.
But yeah, it's interesting. Like, what's the line between inspiration and like when I take that seriously. Like, I would never want to like steal someone's melody, but obviously everything is sort of derivative by nature. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's interesting.
Catherine asked, "What's the last song you listened to?"
Orange Juice. I was listening to a bunch of Noah today because I knew this was like technically a pre-Noah thing.
Yeah, which at the moment I'm not sure if Leave Britney Alone's if she's struggling with signal or what. But there is no Noah stream at the moment. I'm keeping an eye on it. Anyway.
Oh my god, Audrey said I started saying totally because I stole from Francis. I really do overuse totally. I overuse totally and period because sometimes I'm like so anxious about filling the space and I don't like there being quiet, so I'll just be like totally. So that's derivative. But yeah, I was listening to Orange Juice, and I was listening to I don't know if you guys have listened to the new Medium Build record, but this song Crying Over You. And some Dawes I was listening to today too. Will you ever rework a song years afterwards? I don't know. Maybe. Like, maybe I might do that on the album. But I don't think I would change it.
Hello.
But there's definitely been songs I've written and then left for a long time and then come back to it and, like, tried to finish. Yeah, Medium Build's awesome. Okay. What?
Do people have more questions, or do we want to like ask for a couple songs? Because yeah, I need Hollow on the EP, please. April says.
I think both of my managers are on this live, so your messages are reaching the whole team.
Lisa, are you? I think Lisa's requesting Hollow. I don't know.
I need to set my. Oh,
And July is requesting Orion.
Can I officially request 20 something, please? I know I'm
Okay,
broke
so
the record
we
with
have a list now. Maybe I won't do like entire songs.
that. I meant on the EP, but also.
Oh, 20 something's gonna come out soon.
Oh, thank God.
Don't worry. It's so weird to hear your voice, Dylan. I don't know if it's gonna be on the EP, but it's coming out. Rest assured, like soon. I don't. Yeah.
Wait, is
Not
it
super soon, but like at some point.
like a single on the album ish?
No, like it'll probably just be a single.
Oh.
I actually don't know. We have to figure that out. But like it's gonna come out in the next, I don't want to say, like probably 3 to 4 months. Okay, so what songs do we want? Because I don't know if
I think so far what's been requested was Orion, Hollow, and 20 something, and a Jackson Brown cover, and Still Have July. So there's a bunch. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, what Jackson Brown song I could do these days? Okay, let me do.
Catherine says, "Stay up with me."
I haven't played that in so long.
My eyes don't look like mine tonight. The bathroom mirror wakes me up by shouting loud that I told my mom I'd be careful, and I've been anything but for an anxious girl. You sure got a lot of nerve. Keep making tougher eyes to follow. Keep taking bigger pills to swallow. What was once full is hollow. How low will you go? Can picture myself sitting on the grass outside my house at 8 years old, skateboard helmet on, me still fresh with blood,
Hydrogen peroxide.
lead me up. Where'd she go? Keep making tougher eyes to follow. Keep taking bigger pills to swallow. What was once for is hollow. Was once full is hollow. How low will she go?
Oh, did my sound go away?
I think it was my fault. Sorry.
How low? How low?
Oh no. How long did I leave you guys?
I don't know.
hanging there?
I think that I was trying to mute myself, and I could still hear you the whole time, but apparently other people couldn't. I think I'll be able to. Oh, Kenzie heard it the whole time. Weird. I think that I'll be able to post it later for people who missed some of that, because I think that my recording will still have the whole thing.
I just do this. I'll do a little of this. No, I'm sorry. I'm like excited to do a Jackson Brown song because I actually never covered him.
Well, I've been out walking.
Wait.
Well, I've been out walking. I don't do that much talking these days. These days. These days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do for you. And all the times I had the chance to.
This verse is so good. I love this verse.
Well, I had a lover. It's so hard to risk another these days. These days. Now if I seem to be afraid to live the life that I have made in song, well, it's just that I've been losing so long.
Sorry, that was kind of rough. Anyway, he's the best. I've seen him twice in the last month. What other ones I love by his? The Road, Fountain of Sorrow, Talk to My Eyes, Running on Empty. Oh, Lisa, that's so sweet. Okay, which other ones was I supposed to do? Orion?
20-something, Orion, somebody asked for something I wanted, which I always second.
Oh, I could do something I want. I could do 20-something too. Sometimes I forget the chords because I keep switching the key.
I can confirm you keep switching the key, because when I was doing an edit of that one, it was in all different keys.
Well, I do be switching the key a lot generally in all my songs, especially for live. I think Wait for the Sky is my favorite album. Actually, no, I think Running on Empty is my favorite album by him. All the deep cuts on that are so good, but I love Wait for the Sky too. And self-titled, or like Jackson Brown, his first album is amazing too. Okay, I can do, why don't I do like part of Orion and then maybe I'll do July first and then Orion. But I won't do all of it. I'm gonna do, well, I'll just do the first two verses and the first two choruses.
Sharp glass, barefoot, bloodied up your neckline. Wet hair, tangled, swimming in the rain. Oh, I miss every word that leaves your lips. So I sit in silence, mortified every inch you give. Please say I'm not in my head. Am I on your mind? Are you not impressed by the way I drive you away? So I don't have to say what I don't want to say. Call the car, call the spade. Don't call me a friend. Oh, I hurt you. Me too. me too, just at different times.
Yeah, self-titled is amazing. Well, that's Rock Me on the Water. No, wait, now I'm getting confused. Song for Adam from Silver Lake. Something Fine. Jamaica. Jamaica, say you will. Okay, sorry.
Try hard, play coy, Laurel Canyon fanboy. You're not sly, but you're not mine. We're choking on goodbye. Oh, I miss every word that leaves your lips. So I sit in silence, multiplying every inch you give. There's no way it's in my head. Am I on your mind? Are you not impressed by the way I drive you away? So I don't have to say what I don't want to say. Call a car, call a spade. Don't call me a friend. Oh, hurt you, me too. But we still have July. Want you, me too, just at different times.
That's a funny thing about We're Choking on Goodbye. So I say try hard, play coy, Laurel Canyon fanboy. By the way, I had sort of abandoned the plot of the book at this point. I wrote the second verse a lot later than I wrote the first verse. And I was like, oh, Choking on Hello, like in Helplessly Hoping by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I was like, oh, so I'm gonna like reference Laurel Canyon and then I'm gonna like switch that lyric to be like Choking on Goodbye. And I remember I was like with my producer Clark and I was like, so like it's gonna be like so crazy, like people are gonna like see that like I'm like referencing the like Crosby Stills lyric, and he was like, nobody's gonna get that. But I don't think anyone did, but still, you gotta like get excited about things, you know. Okay, what am I doing now? Jamaica, say you will come again tomorrow. You know what I was learning today for you, Brendan, because I still haven't covered any, but I can't do the whole thing, but I'll do a little bit of it.
I'm so excited for what this is going to be.
Really breaks my heart. Yes. See a dear old friend go down to that worn out place again. Do you know?
Sorry.
Do you know the sound of a closing door? Have you heard that sound somewhere before? Do you wonder if she knows you anymore? I wrapped your love around me like a chain, but I never was afraid that it would die. You can dance in a hurricane, but only if you're standing in the eye.
Okay, so I did that's all I got for you.
That was incredible. I am dead. I have perished. Catherine and I are both now in heaven watching this live after that. That was incredible.
I'll do a longer cover of it later, but it's kind of the cadence of the chords are a little tricky for me, so I don't want to mess it up.
The way that you sang that last part though, like just so good. So good.
Okay, I'm glad. I know there's a lot of Brandy stands here. Okay, the other one, I don't know, are there Noah fans here? Or no?
I mean, I think the crossover between Brandy fans and Noah fans is pretty strong. I'm a Noah fan. So
I was just going to do the beginning of this one because I don't know, the song was killing me today. It was making me so emotional, but let's see if I can do it.
Honey, come over. Party's gone slower, and no one will tempt you. We know you got sober. Orange juice in the kitchen, bought for the children. It's yours if you want it. We're just glad you could visit. Feels like I've been ready for you to come home for so long that I didn't think to ask you where you go. Why'd you go? Okay, that's all I got for that one, because the next part, he changes the way he strums, and it stresses me out, and I need to spend more time practicing. Okay, those were the two I thought I would prep for today, because I feel like I just was on a Noah kick today, and I know, Brandy. Okay, someone say what you want, and then I'll do two more, and then I have to go eat dinner. I could do a cover. I'll do a cover and an original. What do we what original do we want? Something I Wanted, probably. Catherine, I'll do that for you eventually. Let me see if I even know the chords. Dye my hair blonde so I don't grow older. Brown underneath, absent maturity. I don't know. I'd have to remember. I haven't played that live in a minute. Okay, I'll do Something I Wanted. But thank you for liking that song. That is a deep cut for sure. One hour north of the Golden Gate, a borrowed car led foot 2 lanes, and I think I'm finally learning now that no good love tastes like pain, and losing yourself's not a price worth paying. Don't know, but I'll get there somehow. I'm getting out of the business of missing you weighing me down. The night tires out, and I knew by the light of the morning, honey, you were just something I wanted. A little bored, a little blue, when I'm untethered. The road is lonely, but it goes on forever. Lost my job on a random Friday, went too far, doing things my way, but I think I'm better off now.
Woo!
Ways to make a little money, nothing pays better than doing what you love, and I'm sure I'll figure it out somehow. I'm getting out of the business of missing what's weighing me down. The night tires out, and I knew by the light of the morning, honey, you were just something I wanted. A little bored, a little blue, and I'm untethered. The road is lonely, but it goes on forever. Running blind. Oh fuck, that's the old bridge. Okay. A quiet house is a gut check. Just me and my breath. Took a lifetime tuning my compass. It's harder learning to trust it. Falling asleep in my old bed. Just me and my head. At the start the sheets burn coldest, but next comes the warming. And I knew by the light of the morning. Honey, you were just something I wanted. A little bored, a little blue, and I'm untethered. The road is lonely, but it goes on forever. And I knew by the light of the morning, honey, you were just something I wanted. You did me wrong, but I will do better. The road is lonely. Oh shit. The road is open and it goes on forever. Okay, I probably wouldn't have said it was shit if I was at a concert, but this is a safe space. Thank you guys for like requesting that and listening. Not the old bridge, screw the old bridge. We were on to bigger, better things. That was like a fun moment where my producers, actually one of my managers, was like, I think you can beat that. And I was like, the first time they brought it up, I was kind of like stressed and like in a bad mood. And they're like, I have a crazy idea. Like, I don't think you're gonna like it. And we were on FaceTime and he was like, I think you should rewrite the bridge to something I wanted. And I was like, so like, no, I was like, didn't want to hear it. So I go, I'm not gonna lie, that's really low on my priority list. And he literally was just like, okay. Like, that's why they just like know how to handle my like anxious tantrums. But then like I was in the studio with them and he's like, I got it. And I was like, I'll try. And then it just like is like 10 million times better. And I love the bridge now. And it's like a high point in the song in the way that like formerly it was kind of a low point for me. So not a low point, like it just like it didn't feel like it was sparkling.
At the start, the sheets burn coldest, but next comes the warming is just such a great line.
Yeah, thank you. I like that concept felt like really poignant to me in that literally when you get in a bed alone, the sheets are cold, like the bed's cold, and it's kind of like, it sort of like stings. But then your body alone, without anyone's help, like will naturally warm the surface. But obviously there's a metaphor there too.
Like, you did me wrong, but I will do better.
True. Or just like being alone is a little uncomfortable initially, right. But your self alone can pull you through that. You don't like need another person.
Right. I just fucking love that song. It's
not high on my priority list. No, like honestly, sometimes I'm like sort of a bitch, but like it's just like I get stress. But they love me and support me through it all. I'm actually so lucky. Liam, Isaac, love you. Okay. Do you know Joni? Like I do, of course, but like I can't rip it off rip. Like I'd want to practice it for you. On you, coming home. Mm-mm-mm. Her melodies are just like crazy, They're so heavenly.
I think Kim was talking about the chapel, California.
No, I don't know Chapel's California. I mean, I've heard it. I was doing a lot of Chapel in the last live. Okay, what should we end this on? Because I low-key have to eat or I'm going to get low blood sugar and start telling you guys that's low on my priority list. Just kidding. Brendan, you have to laugh at my jokes because otherwise then I'm...
Sorry. I was laughing, but my mic, I just had my mic flipped up because I was trying not to like talk over you when you were singing. So I had except for hydrogen peroxide, I had to do that one.
Yeah, no, respect. Cardigan? Should we do Cardigan? Should we do...
I mean...
No, I don't... no, I feel like that's one to cover because... Well, I knew you when I didn't see again, give me weekends. That part's good. I don't know what note to end this on.
I mean, 20-something would be like an upbeat note.
Okay, let's end it on 20-something, and then I'm gonna go eat. But this has been so fun. Whoa, we're 2 hours in. The crowd
prowl. Christina is on the prowl. Adam got a new job. Okay. Drinking with the Wednesday crowd. Christina is on the prowl. Adam's got the same job. And a new girlfriend. Hillary keeps saying how she misses the beach, can't take the big city. She's leaving New York again. Therapy, prescription drugs, rent gets paid on time each month. I'm still feeling like a fucker. When is the end of scrolling up stuff? Playing pretend with my 20-something-year-old friends, trying to make something stick. We're just 20-something-year-old kids, talking shit at tinies on pickles. Got me feeling better about things. Still not sure where all the years go. 20-something came to quit. Okay, the fridge is humming. My landlord's been running, so now I'm playing phone tag. Still on the family plan. Harry and George got them by. Stupid boys, they thought they might marry. I always thought they were too bland. We're all on the hunt for love, worried it'll never come. Got me feeling like a fuck up. When is the end of this growing up stuff? Playing pretend with my 20-something-year-old friends, trying to make something stick. We're just 20-something-year-old kids, talking shit at tinies on pickles. Got me feeling better about things. Still not sure where all the years go. 20-something came to quit. Oh, 20-something came to quit. 20-something came to quit. 20-something came to quit. Okay. That was so fun.
That Where All the Years Go, the note change is incredible.
Oh, at the end, I know. No, I know. That's not what I meant. But, like, thank you. There is a note change, yes. That's a fun one. I'm excited for you guys to hear that recording. There's some gang vocals at the end. So it's very got energy. But it's got character.
It's so good. Thank you so much for hanging out for so long and singing and talking. And this was a dream. This was amazing.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, this is the Daisy the dog.
Hi, Daisy. I love your work.
She's old, you guys, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm obsessed with her. Okay, no, thank you for having me, and thank you guys for staying for so long. I'm like shocked and like really touched that you guys wanted to hang and ask questions, and we should do this again.
Totally. This was awesome. And let me flip these back.
I'm sorry to your daughter, Brendan.
It's all right.
Be mad at me. Thank you guys all, Kristen, Amy, Dylan, everyone.
Thank you.
April was here. I'm probably forgetting a bunch of names.
Well, thank you so much.
Really fun. Thank you.
It was so fun. Yeah, thank you guys.
Have a good night.
Get some food.
Yeah, get some food.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Brendan.
So I'm supposed to be restreaming a Noah Khan live after all that, but it seems like Brittany is having trouble with her signal, and there's nothing to restream at the moment. She was messaging me. So yeah, I think unless people want to chat more, about all of that. Let me turn off the multi-guest thing. Hang on. Where'd it go? End multi-guest. But I'm grateful to Brittany for having the idea of going live for NoahCon, even if she didn't end up getting to do it, because that then inspired me to come up with the idea of have an excuse to invite Frances on here and do that, because that was awesome. I will July, and for anybody else who missed it, I will try to post or like post a link to a video if you're on the Discord. Hello, child.
Hi, can you
Can I shut up? Is that?
No. I'm gonna go upstairs. Can you extend my Wi-Fi for like 2 hours longer so something can finish downloading?
I think your Wi-Fi is. I think I extended it to like midnight. I'll double check.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, this was awesome. And I am definitely gonna like keep in terms of people talking about vinyls and future meetings and whatnot. I am gonna like go through my live stats and make sure I have like, a list of all the people who were here so that I can like tag you guys in the future or whatever if we're doing something like this again. But yeah, that was really, really cool. Wow, holy shit, MHB. I feel the same way, Lisa. It's like having one of my favorite artists just like hang out on my live and like answer our questions.
Hey, Dad.
You should have asked for her autograph. This is better than an autograph. This is like, this is a secret session. We just had a fucking secret session, is what we had.
Hey, Dad.
What?
Who do you think's the better artist? Taylor or Francis?
I'm not gonna compare because we all got crowns. You need to calm down.
Who's your favorite child?
It's my favorite child.
It's me.
Yeah.
Chat, it's me.
One day she'll be singing at the Grammys. Yeah, I mean, like okay, can I be real for a second? I don't mean to like bring the mood down, but like one of the things that I struggle with right now is like the political situation is very depressing and very concerning and makes me very worried about the immediate short-term future. And then the thing that makes me optimistic is music. It's thinking about I'm gonna see Brandy in Mexico in January, and then like maybe I'll get to see Chapel Roan sometime in the next year or two, and then Frances Whitney is gonna become a big star, and I can't wait to watch her rise, and blah blah blah. And then there's other part of me that's like, what the fuck is the world even gonna look like in 3 years? It's weird. It's weird to like be in this place in this moment. But this. But I agree with you. It's like this type of thing is where I get joy and like it helps get through all the tough shit,
Hey, Dad, I hate to break it to you. Coping mechanisms is great, but Francis Whitney is not helping the political state of the world.
Francis Whitney will save us all. Francis Whitney will save us from a rogue Supreme Court that made America no longer a constitutional republic today. Anyway,
President?
what?
Markiplier. He just turned 35.
Okay. She brings hope, and hope brings change. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, like the role of music in the times to come. I feel like, it's really notable and interesting that we have this moment where queer artists, queer women, in particular, are having such a moment in culture, and while at the same time the political situation is what it is with respect to queer people, and like those two things are those two facts are I feel like they're like trains that are going to collide at some point in a spectacular fashion, and it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Like, Chapel Roan turning down the White House's invitation. That's just I feel like there's going to be a lot of shit like that in the coming years. We need a political boppy bop to get people to vote. We need to get people to Pokemon Go to the polls. I'm afraid of losing TikTok because I just love so many of you. So this is the low key reason why I keep pushing everyone towards my Discord. Even though I know that Discord can be a bit of a learning curve and is not like the perfect platform. What for millennials, there's a learning curve, and for millennials and Gen Xers, there's a learning curve.
You click, you join server, you insert a link into a box, and then you type on your keyboard and click enter.
The Gen Zer is mocking us all for being old and having trouble with Discord. Anyway, the point is that it is important to make sure that we have a way to all connect even after if TikTok goes away or whatever. So she's talking gibberish. For people who are not on my Discord already, which probably most of you at this point are, especially since there's only 13 of us left in here. But if you go to franciswhitneynation.com, I do have a link to my Discord and to join with the Francis Whitney Nation role, which will then allow you to get notifications whenever I post stuff like this. I expect daughter to create a tutorial for us oldies. I'm with you, Lisa. I think I'm still leaning that way too, but.
If you want people on your server, I will record and post a TikTok video of how to use Discord, the basics, because it's really fucking simple. Here, let me put my my snacks to the side. Chat. You see?
What are you?
This is a keyboard. You see it? You click.
Your face is currently Francis Whitney Nation right now. What do you stop that?
I need them to hear the clicking. I bet he knows how to use Discord.
Oh, you should bring the kitty over here.
See, this is a sophisticated man who can use Discord.
This is our Maine Coon, Keef, our new kitten, who is gonna scratch me in a second.
Tell Z we invented that machine. Well, if you invented that machine, then use it.
That's no kitten. He's like what, 15, 16 weeks old?
He's about as old as the foster kittens.
Yeah, and yet so huge. HOTTOGO. He's just a baby. He's just a baby. Yes, we still have the Fosters for about another week and a half. What are you doing? Chat. Well, anyway, thank you guys for hanging out and asking questions and making this fun and cool. I guess I will end the live. You're going to like my live. Thank you. Because it looks like we're not getting Noah. So have a good night, everybody. And we'll do something like this again because this was fun.
Request a Discord tutorial.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely try to plan something again. Have a good night. Next time, plan it with Taylor Swift. Okay, what would happen if I just called Taylor up? Hey, Taylor, come on my live. But good night.